creating a video to explain how to measure current, voltage, and resistance using a multimeter. Measuring current with a multimeter, select the current function, turn your multimeter's dial to the current, A, function. This is often denoted as A or I on the dial. Choose the proper range, select the appropriate current range on your multimeter. Start with the highest range and then work your way down to a more specific range if needed. If you're unsure, it's generally safer to start with a higher range. Connect the multimeter in series. To measure current, you must connect the multimeter in series with the circuit. This means that the current flows through the multimeter. To do this, you'll need to break the circuit temporarily and insert the multimeter in the path of the current you want to measure. Connect the multimeter's red probe to the positive side of the circuit and the black probe to the negative side, or vice versa depending on your setup. Impedance of the multimeter for current measurement. Ideally, the impedance should be 0. When you connect a multimeter in series to measure current, it introduces some impedance, resistance, into the circuit. This is known as the burden voltage or burden resistance. The magnitude of this impedance varies among multimeters and depends on the selected current range. The impedance of the multimeter affects the circuit it's measuring. Measuring voltage using a multimeter is a fundamental task in electronics and electrical work. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to measure voltage with a multimeter. Select the voltage function, turn the multimeter's dial to the voltage V function. It may have different voltage ranges, such as DC voltage, V or VDC, and AC voltage, V or VAC. Choose the appropriate range for your measurement. Insert the probes. Identify the voltage you want to measure, whether it's DC or AC. Insert the red probe into the V omega, volts/ohms, socket on the multimeter. This is typically the positive or red lead. Insert the black probe into the common socket, which is the negative or black lead. Connect the probes. Connect the probes to the part of the circuit or component where you want to measure voltage. For DC voltage, red should go to the positive side and black to the negative side. For AC voltage, polarity doesn't matter. Ensure that the multimeter is correctly connected in parallel with the component or circuit to measure the voltage. Measuring resistance with a multimeter is a straightforward process. Here are the steps to measure resistance using a multimeter. Select the resistance function. Turn the multimeter's dial to the resistance, omega, function. This is typically represented by the Greek letter omega, on the dial.